We do organ donations. This eyes and all these parts. One jiva is dropped, stula sharira is dropped. They write it off that for organ donation, and those people come in. Is it proper? Is it there any mention in our Shastra? I just want to know it is right to do.
Yeah. Yeah, so the question is about organ donation after death. And does the Shastra talk about it? And I don't know if the Shastra talks about it, because we need to go to Dharma Shastra. Now, the Shastram does say that there is no use for this body after death. Of course, Shastram doesn't have to say, we know there is no use for this body also. And the body, there are some rituals based on where we are born, etc. There are different kinds of rituals. Now, I doubt if it said anywhere you can't use the body. You can't use the body to help somebody. I really doubt if the Shastra would prevent that. If you look at Zoroastrians, what they do, I've heard it several times. What they do is the corpse, the dead body, they will just leave it outside for the birds to consume.
Yeah.
Is it true? Is it not true?
Yes, it is there in Bombay.
Yes.
Silent Tower.
That's true. They throw it off from the cliff.
They put it on the top of the tower. They take the body and leave it for vultures to consume.
Correct.
Like in Hyderabad, we have Parsi Gutta, right? It's like a hilltop. That's where the dead bodies from the mountain, they will throw it down, and then the crows or other birds will eat it.
Oh, Parsi Gutta.
Molali it is.
Parsi Gutta, there's a mountain there, and that's
Molali.
the dead bodies there, and then they throw it away from the cliff, and the crows eat.
So yeah, Molali also, he says, Venkatesh is saying, Molali, there is a big hill that we are very familiar with. So I've never heard it there, but that's good to know. So there, what they are doing is they are choosing not to burn the body or even cremate the body. They're actually allowing it to be consumed by birds of prey, birds which can consume it. Not every bird will consume it, but some birds will consume it. And so that is possible. Now, organ donation, personal opinion I can give. I think it's a great idea. And this when there is a demand for blood, we give blood. So when we're alive, we give blood, no doubt. And it's a lifesaver. And so why not give the eyes and kidneys and so forth? I think it should be done. It should be done, especially when it is useful. Yeah, I can be of some use at least after my death. During my life, I was not useful to anybody. At least I've been fighting all around. But at least after death, when I am not there, okay, you take away whatever you want. I can say it. So I think it's a good idea. And so there this Sukshma aspect comes into play. Very interesting, right? Because the eyes have to be used with, or at least has to be taken out within some time. You can't keep on waiting after death. Some number of hours, 24 hours, they say some time, right?
The eyes, it's 48.
48 hours. So within 48 hours, what should happen?
Like they should take it out, because otherwise it won't get implanted into the other one. This is cornea, but heart and lungs is 6 to 8 hours. Kidneys, you can wait for 48 hours. So it depends on which organ you're harvesting.
So is it 48 hours to implantation or 48 hours to preservation?
No, you take it out and preserve it, because cornea can be implanted later also.
Later also.
But heart and lungs have to be implanted within 6 hours.
Correct. So, I see. Okay. So heart 6 hours, 8 hours after implantation, and the ice can be preserved for a little longer. Okay. So what is the meaning of that? When you say that it can be kept for this long and then used, that means the Sukshma Shariram of the ice is there during that time. For the eye to operate after implanting, the Sukshma Sharira of the eye should be there. That is our view. That is the Shastra's view. Then only the eye will operate in that foreign host. And otherwise, that eyes will not operate. So our reason for what reason we will give if that eyes do not operate in the new body is Sukshma Shariram has decided to leave, has left, because the conditions are not right for that Sukshma Shariram to be there in that foreign body, in that eye. That is the reasoning we will give. Shastram will give. So anyway, that is besides that's by the way. That's by the way. So that tells us the Sukshma aspect we can see in these transplantations. And the kidney is implanted, and sometimes it's a very successful transplantation. Sometimes it's not successful. And from day one, it's not successful. Sometimes after some time, infection, this, that happens. And, Swami Omkarandaji, we all know, as somebody who's had a kidney transplant. I think he has had both kidneys transplanted. I'm not sure now, but both. And so he lives on. And so he's often, that's why he's not traveling much also. He's staying in the ashram. And he does travel locally a little bit, Chennai, etc. But so he's really doing a lot of great work. So he's done, he has this kidney transplant. So yeah, short answer to your question, Rukmini ji, is you're welcome to ask this question to other Swamijis and see what kind of answer they give. And I don't see any problem at all donating our organs. I think that is perfect.
I have a question, Jayakumar ji. What does Shastra say? Because like Japanese people don't believe in organ donation because they think desecration of the dead body is, according to them, is not right. So what does our Shastra say about, when organ donation is going on, like or post-mortem goes on, there is desecration of the dead body. Is there anything that is mentioned in the Shastras about that?
Yeah, that's what. So I have not read anything in the Manusmriti or something which talks about this. So I'm not aware of it. So we need to ask somebody like I think here and we call him and ask him what is the view. So the traditionalists will feel uncomfortable with these kinds of things. Orthodox people, if you ask them, they will keep their hands away from all this because they are not used to all this. They will say you might be desecrating and all they will say. But I might say, no, let's do a puja and let's consecrate it and then give the parts and then give it to the doctor and then say take it. It is now consecrated, take it. And then after 1 hour, I'll take the body.
Yeah.
Possible.
I mean,
Good idea.
Even Ganesha's head was transplanted, right? I mean, if you think about it in some way, Ganesha had his head transplanted from an elephant.
Not a taboo. It's just like some people consider the desecration is not the recipient. For the recipient, it's not a problem. The problem is like the donation people. They think that it is not a good thing to. Yes, when we think it like the way Jayakumar ji explained, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong in donating. But some, like especially in Japan and places where I don't know, some Indian people also think that it is not okay to desecrate a body. Even they have problems with post-mortem studies, which sometimes have to be done for legal purposes. So is there anything Shastra mentions was my question. Is it based on something?
I think that Shastra may or may not talk. I mean, Shastra, see, this must be interpretation. Shastra will talk about what to do with the dead body. Means what are the rights? What are the last rites? What kind of mantras have to be chanted? What happens? Maybe there'll be some description of the travel of the jiva and how to sanctify it, etc. All those will be there. I'm certain. I've not read it, but I can guess.
For my
Jayakumar ji.
interruption, Jayakumar ji. See, after death, we do perform certain rituals. See, this Panchabhutas, the Stula, Sukshma, Sharira is again, we say, integrated with the Panchabhutas from which they came. We do certain rituals. Now, by donating our body, are we not going against it? We are not depriving that rituals. So that is one more my question, doubt.
I don't consider that at all. How we are depriving? The live body is also Panchabhuta. The dead body is Panchabhuta. This earth is Panchabhuta. So, and my kidney goes to somebody else, he or she is also Panchabhuta. And Panchabhuta remains Panchabhuta, it can't be anything else also. So whether the Panchabhuta goes to the earth or not, it is still Panchabhuta. So nothing is violated here. Nothing can be violated. The problem here can be an orthodox person may say, no, the dead body must only be treated this way. That person can say that. And that's the way he or she is used to. So we should, so let's hear Sajiv also. He had a point.
Some of the rituals are up to
1 minute. One second. Sajiv.
Jayakumar, I don't know if it is from Shastra or anything, but in one of the Sanskrit classes, you talked about a Subhashita, Paropakaram, Paropakarartham idam shariram. So if you take that, as our sharira is for other, if it can be beneficial for others, it can be used, whether it's alive or dead, that can be interpreted that way. But I don't know if it is from Shastra or from anywhere. I think you had talked about it in our Sanskrit class also. I was just reminded of that.
So, in my opinion, see, so somebody might say you can't treat the living person same as the dead person. So somebody can make that argument. Oh, you can't use that argument for after the person is dead. So then we have to rely on the person. If the person specifically has said, no, I want my parts to be used, then that's it. That person's word is the final word. Nobody can question that. So that is one way to resolve this. But yeah, the traditionalists will not agree with all this. I really doubt it. If I ask Karthik, I think he will say, oh, Illana, I am guessing now what he will say.
Some people say you are violating the created and what is given to you. You have no right to pledge to like that. Some people argue like that.
I think it should be
so then what we should tell the Japanese is you don't come to other countries and do organ transplant. Don't when your kidney fails, you let it fail. When your heart fails, just allow it to fail. And the cardiologist
transplants in Japan because donors are not there. That's the problem.
So we should not allow them to go to American hospitals.
Because here it's very clear. I mean, you write on your driver's license, like, you want to donate. By law, you are protected. They will take your organs. So you make a decision when you're alive. It's on like my driver's license too. But whereas in India, the family decides after a person dies. So that's why.
Yeah, it is a drama for the family. The person who was alive 2 hours back.
One has to discuss these things beforehand. At least the children should talk about it between each of them.
See, because discussing about death is a taboo, right, in Indian community. But Vedanta tells us it's not wrong to discuss about death. It's not a taboo. So people who study all these discuss about death. But otherwise, people even say, don't even speak about death in the house, like they will say they don't want to discuss, but it is a thing that everybody has to go through. So it should be discussed.
I say, one of my friend who is a lawyer used to say, you always have difficulty in discussing will with people, right? So he uses a term called when you are doing rituals, if you say that way, you cannot say about death.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
But insurance companies here, they openly discuss, right? Insurance companies, they say after your death, they openly discuss that.
Have to discuss with patients and stuff, patients and their families. I'm sorry, but in India, I'm saying is like even to discuss about it. If you say like if somebody is going to die or something like that, they will say stop, don't say anything like that.
True.
Yeah, also these days it's a little better than before, I suppose.
Yeah, these days it's a little getting better, and people openly discuss with their kith and kin, and they write it also very clearly. And beforehand, before writing, they talk to the immediate family.
And see, if you go back some 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, the transplant technology was not there, and so those questions didn't arise at all. That the body parts could be reused and things like that. So they continued with whatever.
And also in India, most of the time, once you retire, there is already made up a mind that you will die any time. So, only in this country, in the US, we want to prolong it to 100 years or, that's all. So in India, once you are retired, it is people made up my mind.
No, your insurance policies is up to 99.99. You read the in between the lines.
But I think that's a good point, which is we must keep that in mind. This prolonging one's life. Traditionally, we don't stretch it. We don't. We just need things to happen, and we take things as they come. And so that karma is there. That idea that if I have to suffer leukemia, I will suffer it, etc. That idea is there, and we don't push too much into blood transfusion and organ transplantation, and all that is doable. Those who want to do can do it, but people can accept it. They will just accept it, and it's very common. I see it everywhere. And in fact, I tell some people, "Hey, wait a minute, you come. I'll take you to another good doctor." And I've done it a couple of times. And so it's simple, like kidney stones. The boy keeps on getting every couple of years and struggles. And I took him to a doctor now, but he's doing great. And like that, 2, 3, 4 people like that we helped. So some ignorance is there about things. And even if there is no ignorance, the ability to accept what comes. This is very important. Resisting what happens is really the biggest cause of sorrow. Even death, I don't say is a cause of sorrow. Just resisting, constantly resisting. Why me? Why me? Why me? Why me?
Yeah.
Why my family?
See, one of my friend from Kerala wrote me a letter few months ago, saying that his mother passed away, and he said she went through a lot of, with ICU, several days. She was in and out of ICU or people dying, and she was on ventilator, this, that, and all. She wanted to talk, but they won't let her talk. And he was reflecting, when he was in school, his grandmother passed away, and nobody said anything. She passed away peacefully at home, surrounded by people. So by doing all this, we are depriving the old people a peaceful death. That was his reflection of what happened. Trying to extend by a few weeks or few months somebody's life.
Yeah. In US, the most maximum amount of money is spent in end of life care because people want everything to be done. It depends on where you come from, and it is like the result is not good, but you end up doing everything because once they want everything to be done, we are obligated to do it as doctors. But yes, that prolonging for few months, few days is sometimes just not worth it.
Now, can we go back to her Rukminiji's question, please?
So, which part of Rukminiji's question? That is there anything written in the Shastra?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I told you that already. I don't know. I'm not read the Shastra.
Some of the rituals are up to 12th day. Some of the rituals are up to 12th day. Till then, the Sukshma Sariram is they are telling that he is visiting. He is visiting the house, he is visiting the village, or he is talking to the kith and kin and all that. On 12th day also he is reluctant to go. So if you see the rituals on 12th day, no, I don't want to tell. So it is like you go back. They will put a big bowl of rice without salt. And also they will make vada just half baked and say, this is the offering, you take and go. Don't come here after. It is not your house. It is not your world. Your world is something. That is called, that is a 12th day ritual. And with that, the soul lives. That it is not, it understands that this is not my world.
Yeah, that was Sushma
If it is a
Shariram.
natural
Now
test,
Sthula
if it is a
Shariram
natural
also
test.
doesn't want to go.
Huh? No,
So-
pardon?
That is
I'm saying
because
nowadays the Sthula Shariram also doesn't want to go. That's why we prolong it.
Yeah, that is to enrich the hospital.
yeah, so this Antyeshti, so the Swami Dhira Chaitanya ji has written a nice book on end of life and our Shastram. So I have the book actually, but I have not read it completely. Read only bits and pieces of it. So he talks about the various rituals and the significance and so forth. So if you all want to buy that book, you can check with Ashivdya Gurukulam in the US has it. That's where I bought it. And then Ashivdya Gurukulam here might have it also in India. So you're welcome to buy it. Now, let's see. Doctor says cut out salt. Can you cut out salt?
Yeah.
Life will become crazy. You can't cut salt just like that. He will say, of course, they won't say cut out salt. You reduce salt, they will say. And then BP inches up, and then they may say things like that. So it's so difficult. So the one that we are attached to, it is very difficult for us to withdraw from that. The same thing applies to the connection between Sthula Sharira and Sukshma Sharira. This Sukshma Shariram is there in this Sthula Sharira. For years it is there. So there is that connection. So that is what Venkateshan Ji was explaining. That the Sukshma Shariram doesn't want to leave the body, apparently. Just hangs around, so to speak. Because this is the life and this is it, this is the body. That's why it's important to be very objective. When we are alive, if we are objective, maybe when we are dead, maybe, I don't know what happens. We don't know what happens. And things will become easier. So they pray for, there are prayers for the Sukshma Shariram's departure should be comfortable. The Sukshma Shariram should not entertain any regret. The Sukshma Shariram should get, okay, moksha is of course welcome so that there is no more birth. That is the main message. Otherwise, let the Sukshma Shariram get a new body, better life next time. All these prayers are there. Very powerful prayers. And so the 12 days, 13 days and all, there is a meaning for every day of rituals.
Yes, yes.
And Antyeshti, it's called Antyeshti. That is one of the samskara, last samskara done to a human being.
Yeah.
Of
And
the
it's called
What is the
Vatsan
name of the book?
in our place.
What is the name of the book you said?
Name of the book, you ask them, call them up and ask them for this Dhira Chaitanya's book on end of life. I don't know what exactly the book is called, but if you ask them that, they will tell you.
Another thing, it is called Vatsan. That is, we call it as Vatsan. Vatsan. So, this is fed to that person, and in between they will switch off the light, that lamp, and ask him to go. He has to leave immediately. He should not turn back.
Correct.
So that is a psychological for other people. That the departed soul will not trouble us. Like that. That person, he will go. Whenever when he is taking, they will switch off the lamp and say they go. It is an indication for him. Immediately he will go. He will not turn back. He will go. He should not come back. He should not come back. He should not be seen on the same day. Like that, some rituals are there. That is called Otra. Next day is a joyous function. All the other people go to the temple and then they pray for the remaining family.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
And of course, and then we do Shraddha. Remember, for those, those whose parents have passed away, they do Shraddha. The reason for the Shraddham is what? The Shraddham is simple. If the person has gone, completely disappeared, then there is no question of Shraddham. Shraddham is there because the belief is that they are still alive.
Yes.
The grandfather is still alive, grandmother is alive, they are still alive. And so what we do is we give them a benefit of doubt. What is the benefit of doubt? If the Sukshma Sharira has already gained a body, another body somewhere, then let's say human body, then that body is taken care of. But by chance the Sukshma Sharira has not received that kind of a good body, then we say, okay, for 3 janmas, 3 generations, we give them a benefit of doubt that for 3 generations also, if they did not get, they should get afterwards. So we, if you look at those who do Shraddham, they will mention 3 generations, their parents' name, parents' parents, and parents' parents. So that is the reason for that.
Even for Amavasya, we mentioned 3 generations.
Tarpana. Yeah.
Amavasya.
Amavasya Tarpana is there. So
even daily it is there. Daily it is there. Pitru Tarpanam, daily it is part of Sandhyavandanam. Daily we offer to everybody, not only immediate parents, his friends, and his wives of friends, then father, mother, then grandfather, like that. Daily it is a part of the Sandhyavandanam. That is called Pitru Tarpanam.
Deva Tarpanam, Pitru Tarpanam.
Deva Vishi Pitru Tarpanam. Yes.
That is there. General Tarpana is there. So this one is specific for one's own families, one's own ancestors. Okay, good. So we will stop with that. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Maybe we are the only culture, we pray for the departed souls who don't have any children. Whether irrespective of religion or irrespective of caste or anything, we pray for the departed souls. I offer this to you who they might not have any children to do the ritual. It is a part of that. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. It is a. I think people have got enough scared.
No. It's
Sorry, I have to explain the ritual. Sorry.
No. We have to discuss all this sometime or the other.
They're not scared or anything. See, this is the time to discuss. If you don't discuss, no. So, Rukminiji, back to your question. So, we will find out.
Okay.
I think Kanchi Paramacharya has written something.
And you
about
can even
this, about this, he has discussed somewhere that Daivatin Koral, one book is there, 3-4 volumes. Somewhere I have read this about this. His opinion about this.
If you can tell us which chapter it is, whatever I think we can.
I have to find out. It is a. There is a website also. There is a WhatsApp group also. Okay, I will share it with you.
Yeah.
Maybe like Mohini said, everybody will do little research and try to find out some more facts, and we can discuss once more.
Yeah, the other thing you can do, Rukminiji, is you can call Paramaji directly. And I can send you his telephone number, and you just call him and briefly ask him this question. Let's see what he says. I would like to know also.
Right.
Now, Paramacharya. I'm talking about Paramacharya, Shankara Madam.
Yeah, I'm talking about Paramarthananda.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jayakumar ji.
Hari Om.
Thank
Hari Om. Namaste. See you all next week.
Okay.
Thank you.